All right. Thank y'all for your patience. I had to listen to some stuff, and then my computer did me trouble, so that was the main part of the delay was me on the phone with court administration. So, apologize. Go your next witness.
State calls Mike Phipps.
Solemnly swear or affirm testimony about the truth shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I do. Absolutely, sir. Once you see it, state your full name, spelling, and last, please.
Michael Phipps, PHI, PPS.
Mr. Phipps, if you could pull that microphone and speak louder, so the jury can hear you and me. Where are you employed, sir?
With the Lexington County Sheriff's Department.
And how long have you been in law enforcement?
21 years.
And what is your current job assignment?
I work in our forensic services unit as a examiner of digital evidence.
In addition to being employed by the Sheriff's Department, are you also on a federal task force?
I am.
Explain to the jury what that is.
The South Carolina Electronic Crimes Task Force is a task force administered by the United States Secret Service. They stand this task force up to support state and local jurisdictions in the investigation of crimes that involve digital evidence or digitally facilitated crime.
When I use the term forensic examiner, what does that mean?
We examine items of evidence, cell phones, computers, DVRs, GPS units, anything that's digital that potentially has data on it that would be relevant to an investigation.
Would you describe to the jury your background, training, education, experience as far as it deals with forensic examination of cell phones?
I started receiving specialized training in digital evidence in 2005. Since that time, I've received over 600 hours of instruction on various computers, cell phones, and other items.
Approximately how many cell phones have you examined?
I don't have a firm count, but it would be a conservative estimate of over 800.
Over how many?
800.
And have you been qualified as an expert in forensic examination in South Carolina before?
Yes, sir. I've been qualified in the area of various areas of digital forensics 12 times.
Your Honor, the state would offer Investigator Mike Phipps as an expert in the field of forensic examination.
You would,
No objection.
okay. Agent Phipps is qualified as an expert, may offer opinions in the field of digital forensic examination.
Investigator Phipps, let me show you what's been marked as states number 91, which is a Samsung Galaxy Note 3, I believe, and ask if you recognize that item.
Yes, sir, I do.
Can you explain to the jury, in previous testimony, we've gone through chain of custody on that item. You would be the last person to help complete that chain, and you actually touched it multiple times. So could you step through your contact with the phone with the jury, and let's talk about them one by one.
I had several times where I had possession of this phone, the first being back in January 2015. Around 8 o'clock in the morning on that date. For a few minutes, I had it signed out, and usually when we sign something out for a really brief period of time like that, we're doing it for the purpose of identifying the device, recovering serial numbers off the device so it could be referenced in a search warrant.
And that was on January 7th of 2015?
That is correct.
And you got that from Candy Kaiser with the Lexington County Sheriff's Department?
Yes, sir.
And you kept it out for approximately 13 minutes, and then you returned it back to Ms. Kaiser, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
During the 13 minutes that you had it, would you have manipulated or changed any of the data or the artifacts, I think is the term of art that you would use, that were on that phone?
No, sir, I did not.
All right. After you returned it back to Ms. Kaiser on the 7th, when is the next time that you came in contact with that phone?
Again, later that day, January 7th at 9 o'clock, remained in my possession until January 22nd, when it was returned to Ms. Kaiser.
During that time again, you got it from Ms. Kaiser on January 7th, is that correct?
That's correct.
And then you returned it back to Ms. Kaiser on January 22nd, correct?
Correct.
During that time, did you do a physical examination?
Did not.
You did not. Now, is that the time when, pursuant to a court order, there was another examiner who had access to the phone?
Yes.
Okay, once you got that phone back from that other examiner and you returned it back to Ms. Kaiser, when's the next time that you accessed that phone? I think at this point, the phone,
I believe at this point, the phone was at SLED. Let me find the correct sheet.
and I think that would have been on,
November 26, 2018. I picked the phone up from SLED's Computer Crime Center from Agent Britt Dove.
and then the phone was in your possession at that time, and at that time, pursuant to a search warrant, did you do an examination of the phone?
I did.
And then ultimately, after your examination was done, you returned the phone to Beth Holloman at the Sheriff's Department on December 4th of 2018, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Two other experts, let me ask you this question. All the artifacts, when I say artifacts, what's an artifact?
An artifact can be just anything that's recovered off the device, whether it's a photo, text message, a text file on it. It's just a general term we use for something that's recovered, an artifact or an item.
The examination, when we talk about an examination, what did you do?
We take the device and we process it. In this case, I use a forensic tool by a company called Celebrite. The device is a Universal Forensic Extraction Device, or UFED. That is a tool that we use to forensically recover data off the device without changing any of that data.
Can you give an example of what the artifacts are that you're talking about recovering from the phone?
There's different ways you can acquire that data: logical, file system, physical. In this case, we did a file system and a physical acquisition or removal or recovery of the data. That data is then processed later on in other forensic tools to make that data visible or readable to a user. Obviously, like a computer, that data is stored in literally ones and zeros on the device, and it has to be processed to make it usable for an analyst or some other person that wants to read that data. And it can be anything from photos, text messages, again, just anything that can physically reside on a phone you could ultimately recover.
The artifacts that you were able to recover off that phone, did they all appear to be original artifacts created at the time of the event on that phone?
Yes, they did.
Are you aware of any way that are you aware of any type of software or any way to go back and actually create or insert events or artifacts after the fact?
I'm not.
There are different types of extractions, is that correct?
Yes.
I think there are three types. Would you explain to the jury the three different types of extractions there are and what each one of them is?
Again, a logical, file system, or physical are the three types. Logical being what you would see on the phone if you were just to browse through the phone yourself. In other words, you go to text messages, you see all the text messages. A file system takes it just a little bit further in that it's taking in potentially some items that the phone isn't going to display to the user. It's in the file structure of the phone. So potentially there could be a database, third-party application, meaning an application that you install. It didn't come with the phone itself. You would potentially see those items in a file system acquisition. A physical is where we bypass the operating system altogether and we acquire the raw data that's stored in memory on the phone or on the flash memory. And again, that's going to be in a binary form, ones and zeros, and it has to be processed to make it viewable to a user.
The extraction that you performed on this phone, what kind of an extraction was it?
We did both a file system and a physical.
Let me show you what's been marked as states number 33 for the, with the disk, and ask if you recognize that.
I do.
What is that document?
It is a disk that I created that has the raw data from both the acquisition, the post-processing, taking that data and running it through a forensic tool that makes it viewable. If I recall, there's also photos of the device itself on here, and then some copies of documentation such as a search warrant.
You had mentioned a forensic tool. Is that a reader? Is that what you're talking about?
Right. There's a software tool, physical analyzer, again, from the same company, Celebrite. And then we also use other forensic tools as well. But in this case, the data that's on here is straight from physical analyzer. And there's a reader that allows you to load up all that data and make it visible, sort through it, do keyword searches, that kind of thing.
The state would offer 33 for identification as just identification at this time.
Mark, is 33?
Yes, Your Honor. Investigator Phipps, let me show you what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit number 77 for ID, and ask if you recognize that.
Yes, sir, I do.
And is that a document that you prepared from artifacts that were on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 that we're discussing, State's 91, that came from the Cadillac Escalade? It is. And the time period that covers is what?
August 28th of 2014 at about 7:51 in the morning through September 4th, 2014 at 12:58 p.m. in the evening.
In general, what kind of artifacts does that report reflect?
This particular report lists call logs, call history, SMS or text messaging, searches, whether they're various types of web searches and web history.
Now, you would have also had access to emails as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Did the defendant send out any emails that you're aware of during that time period?
We found no outgoing emails during this time period.
Your Honor, the state would offer 77 into evidence at this time. State would offer it into evidence, Your Honor.
Subject to our previous
Objection from early pretrial stuff. Absolutely. Objections noted and submitted.
Your Honor, if I could have Investigator Phipps step down and publish this to the jury, Your Honor.
Sure.
For the record, Your Honor, what I've done is State 77 that Investigator Phipps has in his evidence, the jury will see actually has telephone numbers in there. What I want to display on the overhead has the telephone numbers blacked out.
Okay.
Telephone number becomes important, we can bring that up in testimony.
Any objection doing that, Mr. Young?
No, Your Honor.
Investigator Phipps, when we start, when we start up here at the top, beginning on the morning of August 28, 2014, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
The first entry you have is at 7:51 a.m. in the morning, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Was there any other activity was there any other activity prior to starting at midnight, or was that the first activity of the day?
That was the first user activity. When someone was interacting with the phone, obviously a lot of people leave their phones on, plugged up charging. There can be items that change, update within the operating system, but this was like the first user interaction of doing something on the phone itself.
So the very first thing we see in the morning at 7:51 a.m. says that it's coming up in the call log. In the direction field, it says outgoing. What does that mean?
Means that someone on the phone was placing the call, it was going to someone else.
Now, the number, as we discussed, is blacked out on this. It's on the copy that the jury will see in evidence. Were you able to determine who that number belongs to?
Yes, that was, the number belonged to the defendant's father, Tim Sr.
So there was an outgoing call to the defendant's father, Tim Sr. In the description field, there's numbers. What do those numbers mean?
It's the time or duration of the call, minutes and seconds. In this case, 4 minutes, 47 seconds.
The second entry is the same day, August 28th, at 12:24 a.m. It says web history. Would you explain to the jury what web history is?
Web history is another one of those categories of artifacts. In this case, it's showing that there was activity detected with internet activity. In this case, specifically to a certain web address, which is listed under my notes.
The next entry is at 3:06 p.m. on that day, in web history. Can you tell us what site that you accessed?
Yes, that was would be a moneymorning.com website and a moneymappress.com website.
Continuing on the same day at 1:27. Now, what do you see?
See an outgoing call or a call log. It's an incoming call from the call log from a number that is listed in his address book as a Roberta Thornsberry.
So the number the contact was on the phone shows Roberta Thornsberry.
Right. When there's a name that appears under the party's name, it's pulling that name from his address book. So that's what would have appeared when the phone rang. And in this case, it was an 8-minute and 53-second call.
The next entry shows the same day, August 28, 2014 at 5:44 p.m. What's artifact that you discovered?
The music artifact is just that an audio file was accessed at that point in time. And in this case, it was an MP3, which is a playable music file that was resided on the phone.
And what was the name of the song?
It was Country Girl, Shake It For Me by Luke Bryan.
Moving on to 6:42 p.m. on 28. What did you say?
This falls under the searched items category. In this case, it's specific to the YouTube or YouTube app, meaning that person was doing the search within the search box on YouTube, and they did a keyword search for Sasha Expander Original, which through research I've learned is a synthesized music piece.
As we move on down, August 28th, at 7 o'clock p.m., there's a call log in.
Here we see several back-to-back missed calls. These are incoming calls that weren't answered by the phone or by anyone operating the phone. In this case, all 4 missed outgoing incoming calls were from an Amber Marie McCauley. And you can see the duration is 0 seconds on all of them.
And you confirm that you were calling.
Yes, that's going to be the mother of the children.
So there was a missed call, incoming missed calls at 7 o'clock, 7:02, 7:05, and 7:09 p.m.
That's correct.
The next entry at 7:10 p.m. was
This is from the call log again, but it's an outgoing call to Amber. And that call lasts for 1 minute and 20 seconds.
At 7:12 p.m. What's that number?
Here we have an incoming call, excuse me, from Amber that lasts 1 minute and 54 seconds.
Moving down to 7:14 p.m., still on the same evening.
Again, we have a string of missed calls at 7:14, 7:16, and 7:17, all belonging to Amber.
At 7:19 p.m., the bottom entry on this page, the first page of this exhibit was received.
You see an incoming call at 7:19 from Amber that lasts 1 minute and 2 seconds.
Moving on to the second page. Continuing on the night of August 28, 2014, now at 7:56 p.m., what did you find?
This is a missed incoming call. Through research, we identified the numbers belonging to CVS Pharmacy, specifically one located in Newberry. It has a, of course, 0-second duration because it was missed. No one picked up on it.
The next artifact that you reported in the report on the evening of August 28th is at 8:30 p.m., correct?
That's correct.
And that was coming from a type that says this other search in YouTube, is that correct?
Yes. It's a search for the keywords American History X rape scene.
American History X rape scene.
That is correct.
Now, are you familiar with the movie American X?
Yes.
And is there a rape scene within the movie American X?
Yes. American History X was a movie in the late 90s. The principal character in the movie is sentenced to prison. While he's in prison, he's brutally assaulted in a shower scene and sexually assaulted.
Now, are you able to determine whether whoever was operating the phone actually viewed that rape scene or whether they just searched for it?
We can't tell that. All that I'm able to determine is they enter those search terms within the YouTube app or web page.
And the time on that search again was what?
At 8:30 and 32 seconds in the evening on the 28th.
As we continue down past that, the next entry is at 9:16 p.m. You describe to the jury what that entry shows.
It's a missed incoming call from Amber, followed up at 9:34 by an incoming call that's answered that has a duration of 1 minute and 12 seconds. Then following that up at 9:42 is another incoming call. This one's tagged as rejected. So unlike one that just goes unanswered, someone actually swiped to reject the call, saying they didn't want to answer it.
Continuing on down to 9:57.
At 9:57, again, another incoming missed call from Amber.
And then now we're moving to August 29th, correct?
Yes, sir.
7:30 a.m. in the morning, an outgoing call is made from this phone. And were you able to determine to what number the outgoing call was made?
Yes, the number belonged to the Safe Federal Credit Union, and the call lasted for 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Continuing on the morning hour of 29, 7:43 a.m. What do we see?
We see another incoming missed call. This time the number belongs to the defendant's father, Tim Sr. Of course, it has no duration because it was missed.
9:36 a.m. on the 29th.
Another missed incoming call, this time from a person identified in his address book as Christina, and I can't pronounce the last name, I'm sorry.
Through your investigation, were you able to determine that she was the children's babysitter?
Yes.
So that's the call log at 9:36. There's also been followed up with the text at 9:37. Is that correct?
There's a text at 9:38, 49. Yeah, 9:38:49, there's a text message incoming. It's also, the logs tell us whether the individual ultimately read the message. So,
You denoted by putting in frequency for it.
correct. And again, from Christina,
Now, the content of that text message, we're talking, the date on this was the 29th, is that right?
correct, at 9:38 a.m.
The text content that was sent by Christina Elke, we have a phone.
It reads, "Just wondering if the kids are coming."
What's the next artifact that you found?
At 10:52, an outgoing text message, this time to Christina Elke. And the text message read, "Don't worry about this morning. I'll see you later next week."
So there was an outgoing text on that phone to Christina Elke that said, "Don't worry about this morning, I'll see you later next week."
That's correct.
And that was done on the morning of August 29th.
Yes, sir.
Moving down to the next artifact.
At 10:54 in the morning, an incoming text message that was read from Christina, and it reads, "So are they coming Monday or when?"
The next response.
At 10:55, an outgoing to Christina that reads Tuesday. Then followed up at 10:57 by an incoming from Christina that reads, "Okay, well, y'all have a good Labor Day."
All right. Continuing on then after those text messages.
At 11:02 in the morning, there was a Google search this time for a particular phone number, a number of 996-2020, which was determined to belong to Envision Eye Care.
Continuing on the 29th of 12/11, right after lunch.
Another Google search, this time the keywords were herbal incense, Atlanta, and Georgia strung together. At 12:12, there were
All right, so the date and time, there was a web history or was it a Google search? Sorry.
It was a Google search
What time was it?
at 12:11.
So you say Google search over in this column, you said herbal incense, Atlanta, Georgia. When it's a Google search, is that what the user of that phone actually typed into Google search?
That is correct.
So that was the phrase that the user of the phone chose in the way they spelled it.
Correct.
What time was that?
At 12:11 p.m.
On what day?
on the 29th.
As we continue on to the next one, please.
It's immediately followed up at 12:12 with some web history activity for a website, which is the yellowpages.com. And the site, title of the site was Herbal Incense Smoke Shops near Atlanta, Georgia, with reviews, YP Mobile, Yellow Pages Mobile.
So is that a search or is that web history?
That's web history.
So will you explain to the jury when we go from a search to a web history what that means?
It means, of course, obviously, when you search something on Google, you get a table of results, and then if you click on something, it's going to potentially take you to that website. So it's showing the initial Google search and the fact that someone clicked on something after that, which took them to this yellowpages.com website.
The next entry is at what time?
At 12:14 p.m., it's from the call logs showing an outgoing call. The number that was listed there was ultimately identified as a number belonging to the Zamzam Incense Shop located at 109 Peachtree Street in Atlanta, Georgia. The call lasted for 13 seconds.
So we're now down to the 29th at 12:14 in the afternoon, outgoing calls, a number which you verified belongs to a business called the Zamzam Incense Shop located in Atlanta.
That's correct.
The final entry on this page.
It's at 1:17 in the afternoon. It's a Google search for the keywords herbal incense illegal in Alabama.
Were you able to determine whether spice was legal or illegal in the state of Georgia in September of 2014?
Yes, I was.
And what did you determine?
It was criminalized in Alabama in 2011.
How about Georgia and Mississippi?
Mississippi, did not research. In Georgia, it was criminalized in 2010.
Moving on to the third page, investigative. We're still on August 29th. The top entry is at what time?
At 1:19 in the afternoon.
And so that history.
Correct. It's showing activity on a website, the WCTV.tv website. The page title was Georgia Issues Alert Over Herbal Incense.
Moving down to the next search item at 151.
It's a Google search. The keyword entered here is herbal incense, Alabama.
Next, web history at 151.
It's a web address of adpost.com, and the page title was Supernova Herbal Incense and Others Available for Sale from Alabama.
The next web history at 152.
Again, from a website, the Head Shop Finder. The page reads Alabama head shops and smoke shops, bongs, kratom, glass pipes, pipe shops, vaporizers in Alabama.
The next web search at 152 for sales.
Again, the same website, Head Shop Finder, for Zero Gravity Smoke Shop in Decatur, Alabama.
Moving on to the call logs at 152 p.m. on 29.
We see an outgoing call to a number that was identified as belonging to the Zero Gravity Smoke Shop with a zero duration. Obviously, didn't talk or go through.
Where was the zero gravity smoke shop located?
In Decatur, Alabama.
Moving on to next at 2:17 p.m. the call log entry.
It's a missed incoming call that was missed from Roberta Thornsberry, followed up by two more incoming calls from the same number, Roberta Thornsberry, one showing a duration of 6 seconds, the other 2 seconds. And then at 2:22, another incoming call that was ultimately rejected, followed up by 5 more calls through 2:38 p.m. that were all rejected, incoming from Roberta.
As we continue on down to the bottom of the page after the rejected calls, what do we find?
Web activity on the Head Shop Finder. This time it's a page with the title Illusion Smoke Shop in Birmingham, Alabama. Then
Next entry.
immediately followed by a page from the same website that reads Cloud9 Southside Tattoo and Piercing Smoke Shop in Birmingham, Alabama.
And then the two last calls on the third page.
First one's a missed incoming call from Roberta at 4:13, and then at 4:30 p.m., an outgoing call to Roberta that lasts 31 seconds.
Moving on to the next page.
On the 29th at 4:41 p.m., there was a Google search for the keywords of herbal incense, Mississippi, illegal, followed by some web history at the same time. The website was blog.gulflive.com with the title of Mississippi Lawmakers Snuff Out Spice. That's followed up by another Google search at 4:44 for the keyword CAMPUNG. After that, it goes directly into some web history. The website is reserveamerica.com for campgrounds and camping reservations. Then that rolls into 2 missed incoming calls at 5 and 5:02 p.m. on the 29th from Roberta.
There were referring where we've been seeing a lot of calls. Were you able to determine out whether that was his or another or not for your investigation?
I was not.
As we continue on, then the 2 missed incoming calls there on the 29th, 5 o'clock, continue on now, I see a text message, is that correct?
Yes, at 5:04 p.m., there's an incoming text message that's read from Roberta. The content was, Tim, I want you to come in. I mean, I'm not sick, bro, contagious to the kids, so I need to see the babies. I need to see you come in.
And that was from the first number.
Yes.
As we continue on down to the afternoon, evening of the 29th, after that text, what do you see?
On the 29th at 5:04 p.m. is a missed incoming phone call from the defendant's father. That's followed up at 5:09 by 2 missed incoming calls at 5:09 and 5:22 from Roberta. From there, there's a incoming read text message at 5:24 p.m. It reads, hello, where are you? That's from Roberta. Followed up by an incoming missed call from Roberta at 5:24 p.m. Then again at 5:25 p.m., an incoming read text message from Roberta that reads, are you getting my messages? Come on, I know you can text, or are you in a meeting? That's followed up at 5:28 p.m. by another missed incoming call from Roberta. And then we have 2 rejected incoming calls at 6 and 6:12 p.m. from Roberta. At that point, on the 29th at 6:34, there's there's 2 incoming rejected calls back to back from a number that was identified as coming from Market Traders Institute.
Were you able to determine what Market Traders Institute is?
It's a website that facilitates traders, and they offer a platform for actual trading, educational tools, research tools to facilitate trading of stocks.
When you're saying you rejected a call, that's different from a missed call now.
It's different as in the user or whoever had possession of the phone chose to swipe it to silence it and reject the call.
Moving on to the next page, and then still on August 29th at 6:40 p.m.
At 6:40, there's an outgoing text message from Roberta. It reads, sorry, been tied up today. That's followed up by another outgoing at 6:41, again to Roberta, that reads, not going to be able to make it today. That's followed up by an incoming text from Roberta at 6:48 p.m. that reads, call me please. What's going on, sweetheart? Call me. Then we have 2 incoming phone calls at 7:02 and 7:03, both of them from Roberta, and they're rejected calls. At 7:06, there's an incoming red text message from Roberta that reads, hey, sweetheart, when you get a chance, give me a call. I love you, and your phone seems to be messed up. Maybe you should get an iPhone. That's followed up at 7:27 with another red incoming from Roberta that reads, you need to let me know if you're coming in this week, and I've got all this meat. What do I do with it? That leads into, at 7:28 p.m., a rejected call from the defendant's father. And at 8:04 p.m., there's an outgoing call to the Market Traders Institute. It only lasts 1 second. Following up on that, at 9:10 p.m., the call log, there's a rejected call from Roberta. That leads into 9:39, a text message incoming from Roberta that reads, "Where are you?" Another at 9:40 from Roberta that reads, "Love you all, got lots of clothes for the kids." Another incoming at 10:01 from Roberta that reads, "Do you want to meet up on Sunday, Tim?" At 9, that was on the 29th at 10:01 p.m. The next is the next day at 8:30, on 8:30 rather, at 9:39 a.m. It's an incoming red text message from Roberta that reads, "Where are you? What are you doing?" Another at 11:57 a.m. from Roberta that reads, "Call me right now." And then another at 11:58 from Roberta that reads, "Why aren't you taking my calls?" Question mark. By the way, Odell, a lot better. At 11:58 a.m., another incoming text message from Roberta that reads, "When do you want to meet up with me? I have all these clothes and things for the children." At 5:13 p.m., another incoming from Roberta that reads, "Why are you not taking my calls?" Question mark. By the way, Odell, a lot better.
Now, are you picking and choosing what we're showing here, or is this everything, are these all the text messages during the time period?
These are all the text messages during that time period.
Same with web searches, web history,
Correct.
same with Google searches,
Right.
and the same with the call log showing incoming and outgoing and calls.
That is correct.
Moving on to the next page.
Next page starts on August 31st, 2014, incoming red text message from Roberta that reads, "When do you want to meet up with me? I have all these clothes and things for the children." At 5:13:06, incoming from Roberta, "Where are you? What are you doing?" 5:13, incoming from Roberta that reads, "Call me right now." From there, at 7:58 p.m. on September 1st, is a YouTube search for Bob Carlisle Butterfly Kisses. On the 1st at 10 a.m., call log reflects an outgoing call to Christina Elke. It has no duration. Then at 10:08 a.m., there's a Google search for Camping, South Carolina. That leads into some web activity from 10:08 through 10:10 a.m. on the southcarolinaparks.com website. You have several sections of that site that were accessed. The first being the tent and RV camping in South Carolina State Parks, campground cooking in South Carolina State Parks, boating and camping at Devil's Fork and Cheraw State Parks, and trailside camping in South Carolina State Parks. On the first at 10:13 is a Google search for the keywords of South Carolina dumps. That rolls into some web activity at the same time on the Lexco SouthCarolina.gov website.
That's the government website.
That's correct, for Lexington County. The areas of that website that were accessed were the collection and recycling centers, the index, C&D landfill, items accepted, the homepage, and animal services.
Moving on, after that, there are some YouTube search items.
Correct. At 11:24 a.m., there's a YouTube search for Styx, Long Arm of the Law. Immediately followed up at 11:31 for another YouTube search for Styx, Long Arm of the Law lyrics.
Moving on to the next.
At 11:31 on the first, another YouTube search for Comfortably Numb Pink Floyd lyrics. At 4:54 p.m., there's an incoming text message from Christina. This one we have a notation that it was read late. So in this instance, you can see that a text message came in but we can also see a timestamp of when the text message was actually, or the app that contains the text message was open to look at it. So in this instance, we noted that it came in at 4:54 p.m. First, but it wasn't read or accessed until 6:14 p.m.
And that was from which individual?
Christina,
The children page.
that is correct.
What were the contents of that?
It
What were the
reads,
contents of that task?
it reads, just a reminder, please bring some diapers tomorrow.
Moving on to the next text. What do we say?
At 6:19 p.m., there's an outgoing text to Christina with, reads busy with a question mark. Then at 6:19:36, there's an incoming from Christina that reads okay. 6:19:55, there's an outgoing call to Christina that lasts 17 minutes and 34 seconds. And that's followed up at 7 p.m. With an incoming phone call from Amber that lasts 7 seconds. That rolls into September 2nd, 10:35 in the morning with a YouTube search. The string that was entered in the YouTube search was dog search for body in landfill. Followed up at 9:38 a.m. with another YouTube search for clean pool muriatic acid. And at 10:41, a YouTube search for muriatic acid burn. Followed by, at 10:43, a Google search for camping Columbia, South Carolina. A result of that Google search at 10:44 shows web activity. The website was riverbottomfarms.com. The title page was Yogi Bear's Jellystone Park Camp Resort, Columbia, South Carolina. Then there's web activity at 10:44 from Good Sam Camping, Columbia, South Carolina campgrounds. At 10:46, there was a Google search. The keywords that were entered were, what does no extradition laws mean?
What does no extradition laws mean?
Correct. At 10:57, there was web history. The website was blogs.findlaw.com. The title page was 5 countries where no U.S. extradition treaty. Find law blotter. And on my version, yep, it didn't get corrected. I know what that reads. I probably have another reference, but that cell didn't expand out to where it needed to be. Correct.
What does it say?
It's it was web history at, I believe, 10:58 from the NPR.org website. And the title page read, you face a U.S. legal problem, where should you run?
Facing legal problems, where should you run?
Correct.
Continue on.
At 10:59 a.m., there was a incoming text message. It was read from Christina Elke, and it reads, can you send me a text saying I have permission to enter the house and clean and keep what I want, just so I don't get in trouble? At 11:03 a.m. on the 2nd, there was an outgoing outgoing text message to Christina that reads, sure, go ahead and clean up. And then there was another outgoing at 11:04 to Christina again that reads, everything is okay, question mark.
Continuing on, we're still on September 2nd, I believe.
Yes.
So I believe we start off with the search item
At 11:04 a.m. on the 2nd, a Google search for camping Route 77, exit 88, South Carolina. That's followed up at the same time, a few seconds later. There's an incoming text message. It was ultimately read from Christina Elke. It just reads K. the letter K. At 11:07, another incoming red message from Christina. It reads, I haven't done anything BC or because I want to make sure you don't want any of your stuff, or STUFD. At 11:10 a.m., there's an incoming red text message from Christina that reads, I would call his house charity to pick up the stuff I didn't want. At that point, at 11:10, there's an outgoing text to Christina that reads, okay. At 11:10 a.m., there's an incoming from Christina that reads, is that okay? THT. At 11:11, there's an outgoing text to Christina that reads, yeah, all yours. Again, at 11:11, outgoing or incoming red from Christina saying thank you and take care. And outgoing at 11:12 to Christina that reads, you too, same to you. At 11:46, an incoming text message is ultimately read late. It was actually read at 1:19 p.m. on the 2nd, and it's incoming from Jim McConnell. And it was the defendant's supervisor at Intel. It reads, hey, you coming in to work today, question mark? Did I miss an email or other, question mark? At 12:58 on the 2nd, there was web history indicating activity on the KOA.com website for Charlotte, Fort Mill, KOA campgrounds in South Carolina. Then there was a outgoing call at 1:21 in the afternoon on the 2nd to a number that we identified as belonging to Fidelity Investments that lasted 43 seconds. At 1:38 p.m. on the 2nd, there was a missed incoming call from a number that we identified as belonging to Sachs Gotha Elementary School. And that's immediately followed up by a second missed call from the same number, Sachs Gotha. At 1:53 p.m., there was a incoming text message from Jim McConnell that reads, there, question mark. At 5:55 p.m. on the 2nd, incoming missed call, also belonging to Sachs Gotha Elementary School. At 5:59 p.m., a missed call from Amber and with 0-second duration. At 6:04, another incoming call from Amber, this time with a duration of 4 minutes and 35 seconds. And then at 10:06 p.m., there's an outgoing call to Christina Elke that lasts 12 seconds.
And what date and time are we on at the moment?
September 2nd, 2014, 10:06 in the evening.
We have 2 more pages to go. First history on the next to last page.
Again, at 10:06, call log indicates an incoming call from Christina that lasts 56 seconds. At 10:08 p.m., an incoming call from Christina that lasts 14 minutes and 45 seconds. At 11:52 p.m., there was a database that registered a location for the phone. The app that recorded that was AccuWeather.com. It was a widget weather app where it reports your local weather for your date and time. This indicated that at that date and time it was reporting a location showing the latitude and longitude. That resolves back to an area around the city of Gray, Georgia. At 8:10 a.m. on the 3rd, there was an incoming text message from Jim McConnell. Hey, been trying to get in touch with you. Please give me a call when you get this. At 10:07 a.m., call logs indicate an incoming missed call from Kevin McKinney. And then that's followed up by an incoming rejected call just a minute later from Kevin McKinney as well. At 10:10, there was a incoming text message. It was read late. It was read actually the next day. It comes in on the 3rd. It's read on the 4th at 3:39 a.m. It reads, "Hey Tim, call me ASAP." On the 3rd at 12:11 p.m., there's another incoming text message read late from Jim McConnell. It was read on the 4th at 3:39 a.m. "Hey, are you there?" Question mark. At 9:03, on 9:03 at 1:16 p.m., incoming text message that went to a spam folder from Terry Jackson. It reads, are you through with the roach spray in the bottle? Drop by store." At 4:41 p.m., an incoming read late text message was read on the 4th at 9:27. It reads, "Hey, call me when you can." That's from Travis Jones. At 4:42, again, another text from Travis Jones. It was read late, and it reads, "It's an emergency." 5:15 p.m., an incoming text message from Roberta, and it reads, "Timmy, please, baby, let Grandma know where you're at. Please, call me, please." At 5:16 p.m., an incoming text message from Roberta that reads, I can do your sweetheart, so scared, please call me, baby. At 5:25 p.m., an incoming text message from Brian Haig that reads, "You around? No OOP message. Might want to touch base with JIM if you haven't." At 5:33 p.m., incoming text message from Roberta reads, "Tim, call me please. I'm begging you, please call me." 6:51 p.m., incoming text from Tyler Jones. It reads, "Timmy, man, what's going on with you? Question mark, explanation. Come on, bro, don't be doing this." 7:02 p.m., incoming text from Jim McConnell. "Please give me a call." September 3rd at 9 p.m., incoming text message from Martha Reyes. Reads, "Hey Tim, I haven't heard from you lately, question mark. How is everything going, question mark. Do the kids start school yet, question mark. I love you, honey. We are very proud of you. Please call. I haven't talked with you in a while. Need to catch up. Love you, mucho, mucho. Kiss all the babies for me."
That message was brought in,
That's correct. At 9:32 p.m., an incoming text from Aunt Rosalinda. It reads, "Hi, sweetie, everything going all right? Aunt Rosalinda." At 3:37 in the morning, there's a powering event. Just means that the phone had been off for a period of time, and we can detect that it powers back up at this point. That was significant because of the red light messages. The times that those messages were read were around that powering event. So the device had been off, it comes back on, all those notifications that he has, text messages would have appeared at that point. We're on the 4th at 3:37 in the morning. At 3:41 a.m., there's an outgoing call. That number was identified as the voice messaging service for that phone. That was identified in the SIM card on the phone, and it's showing a 7-second duration call. Immediately followed up at 3:43 in the morning for the same number for 33 seconds. Correct. At 3:44, there's web history at the nomadcapitalist.com website. The title page that was landed on was the best non-extradition countries to be invisible. And then I guess there's a notation is not available, possibly meaning that you hit a dead link, was trying to go to that link and there wasn't anything there to display.
The Google search next, what's the date and time?
At 3:47 in the morning, there was a Google search with the keywords missing children, Kim Jones.
The last four.
At 8:34 a.m. on the 4th, there's an incoming text from Roberta that reads, "Tim, if your phone is working, please call Grandma. I'm going out of my mind. I love you." That's followed up at 9:30 with an incoming text. It reads, "Mr. Jones, this is Beth Holt, principal at Saskatha. I am checking to make sure the students are okay. I've noted they have been absent since Thursday." At 12:58 p.m., there's an incoming text, and it reads, "Your family is looking for you, but if you need to lay low or get out of Dodge, you call me, bro. I got you. Love you, brother." At 12:58 p.m., there's another incoming text that reads, "Tim, what's up, dog? It's Rudy. Your FAZ cuz. Listen, man, I don't know what's going on, but you need anything, money, place to stay, anything, you let me know, bro. Bird."
So as far as this last activity you saw on this phone, as far as user activity, what is the date and time for the last user activity you saw?
Would be this incoming red text message at 12:58 p.m. There was some additional indications that the phone was accessed as far as being powered on through evening of the 5th, but there wasn't anything that we could identify as user actions on it, as far as call logs, text messages, photos taken, that type of thing.
And that was at 9:27 p.m. on what day?
On September 4th. Are you talking about the last time that we,
That there, you just checked the correct?
September 5th, and I'll have to look at the exact time, but it was late in the evening on the 5th.
And you guys get this. I made feedback from the community. Mr. Phipps, are you aware of whether the battery was in the phone or not in the phone when it was found by Stacey Jones with the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation on the search warrant back in Mississippi?
The investigative note said it was not in the phone.
Thank you, Investigator Phipps. Please answer any questions of fantastic.
Yeah. We need a break. So step in the jury room, have y'all back out here, and don't discuss the case.